Hello, my people. I welcome you back to our Django development training. And this is the second edition of our video on Django for beginners. And as you can still remember that this in the first video we covered some areas like installation and activation of virtual environment, Django installation, Django URL routing, and Django templates. So in this second edition, we are going to be looking into the logical parts of Django, and we are going to be starting with the Django model. Okay, so my virtual environment has already been started, and I'll put this one down a little bit, and let's go to our Django application, which in this case is members, and we are going to go to models. And in the models in the models, what we need to do is just to specify those objects that are going to serve as our database. Please, if you have not watched the first video, please click on this video pop-up that you will see at the top here, and you will get to watch the first part of this video, and it will help you towards understanding what we are actually talking about. All right, now remember we are doing a membership application, and one of the things that we need to do is that we need to create a Django model. And because we are still starting from the beginning, I am going to be showing you how to do it from scratch. But then starting from the Django version 5.1, they introduced a way of writing our login and users table without having to create anything at all. But I want to do it from scratch so that you can see how we can do it. Now what I will do is I am going to create a class for this object, and let me call it member. And please, if you are following up with this tutorial, always use the W3 schools for your reference. And here is our models, and if you come here, you are going to see some of the things that they wrote about this. And if you come here, you will see that from Django.db import models, where I am going to be talking about this in a few minutes. And then this is a class member, and then and so on and so forth. So let's go back to what we are doing, and this is going to be a class member, and it is going to inherit from model dot models, just like here. It is inheriting from models.model. I will still tell you what this thing is doing here. Models.model. This model is going to be capital letter. Sorry, not model, but model. Okay. And here it is now going to contain all the properties of this model. So I can go with the start with full name, and I am going to set it to, or rather let me just copy what I have here. Okay, let me explain. So from Django.db, import models. So if you go to our virtual environment, which is member environment here, and you go to something like the libs, that's the libraries, you are going to see so many things. But if you go to the, I think, Django distribution, sorry, Django app, and you're going to see so many things like the DB. You can see this is DB, and this is the models. And here you're going to see the fields. And here in the fields, these are the different fields of Django. And then these are functions of Django on the models, that's the DB. And again, you are going to see the SQL and different other things that controls the object relational mapper on these things. So, but this is, so when we say from Django.db, we are actually importing a module from this particular DB module. So we are importing this DB module, and we are referring to the DB module, and from it we are importing the models, which is this. And now let me go back to our project. So here that we created a class member. So you can call it virtually anything of your choice, but this member is going to inherit from that DB which we saw in the virtual environment. So it is inheriting from the models that we have in the DB, and the models is going to now control whatever we have here. So for instance, now to specify the full name of that member, I can call it a character field. So here is going to be a char field, a char field. I think this thing is, sorry, this is going to inherit from model.character field. So it's going to inherit from models, which is what we are importing from that database. I just hope this is easy for you to understand, but we have so many data. This is just to help Django to be able to understand the type of data that we want to receive, or we want to output, or whichever thing. But whichever data that is going to be stored in this table, in this particular column of the table, which is the full name, is going to contain a character field, which are A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. That's alphanumerical data, which we can call string in ordinary Python. Okay, then this can also take maximum length of whichever thing, but let me keep the maximum length to 100. Now, since we are talking about member, let's look at their hobby. And it is also going to inherit from models dot char field, which is character field. And just to be specific, let us also give it a maximum length, which is max length of 100 as well. Let us take their emails as well. This is going to receive from models dot, so this one is going to be models dot email field, because we want to collect email. So I purposely used email here is just to be able to let you know that we have different fields. And okay, so we can also have so many other fields, but let's just add this like this. Okay, now we are done with our uh, models. So this is the information we want to store on our database, which we are going to have a table called member, and in that table we are going to have these fields, which are the full name, the hobby, the email of that member. So we are literally done with this. Then the next thing is we need to make sure that this is recorded on our database by migrating this. So we can migrate by doing this, using this Python code, Python manage.py make migrations, enter, and this is going to run the migration for us. And you can see it says member slash underscore initial.py. So this is basically to tell you that the members has been created. And if you go to the migrations folder here, you can see a migration folder was created here. If you go to this migration folder, you will see this 0001 underscore initial.py, which is what they created for us here. And from there, we can now migrate this table. So let us migrate. So we can say Python manage.py migrate. Now this table has now been created for us. If I go, remember I have DB SQLite viewer extension on my on my Visual Studio Code. So I can easily visualize the table from here. If I come to click on this db.sqlite3, if I come there, it's going to show me different tables that I have this place, and you can see members underscore member. So the members is coming from the members application, and then member is coming from the table, which is the table that we saw there. And if I click on it, you will see that it automatically creates an ID, and then it creates a full name. You can see it, the hobby, and then the email. And nothing has been stored in there, but we are going to also make sure that we store something there. So to do that, what I will do now is just to show you some certain things that we really need to see. So the first thing is, let us run our server first, so that I will show you this. Python manage.py run server. All right, now let us go to the server, and this is what we had before now. And we can go to the admin area, and we can see that Django has already created an admin for us. So, but we don't have any username to be able to log in into this admin. So what we need to do now, so we need to end this server with Control C, and then we can run this code. Let me clear this so that you all will see what I'll be doing. So we need to run this code, which is Python manage.py create super user, and hit enter. And now we need to put our username, so let me call it test user. And then I hit enter just to override the email, and then I am going to call the password test123 and put it again test123. One thing you need to know is that when you are typing the password, it is not going to be showing. So it says this password is too short, it must contain at least 8 characters, this password is too common. And it says bypass password validation and create a user anyway. So just type Y if you want to override it. If you don't want to override it, go ahead and create a very strong password. So I'm going to override it. All right. Now let's run our server again. Python manage.py run server, so that we can test it out. So we can go to our server now, and we put the test user, and then we put the password test123, and we log in. Now, if you look at this, you see that that particular model is not showing in our database. You can see we have these ones came directly from the Django installation, but we need to really tell Django what to do with this our application and the model that we created in our application. So what we need to do is we need to go to the admin.py on our project. So this is the admin.py, and here we need to register the admin. And if you look at this place, you see the Django has created some certain things. It says from Django.contrib import admin, and that is for the admin that we just saw now. And from here now we are going to register our application. So and so once we register our application, it will show in that Django admin. So first thing we need to do is to import that model that we just created, so that we can be able to register it. So we need to do that. So we can say from dot model, sorry, it's going to have a space, from dot model import member. Sorry, models import member. And then here we now register it with admin.site.register member. So we are now registering the member. Okay. So now let's see what we have. So you can see that we have members here, and these members is the application. Now if we click here, we are going to see a place where we can add members. So let's just go ahead and create a member. So let's say full name is Emmanuel Okoye. Hobby is soccer, and email is this email, and we can save this. And you can see what we have here is member.object1. And this is not actually real members, but if you click here, you see it contains all the information about the member. We'll still look into this. So we need to tell Django how to record it, because these are coming in as objects. So we really need to tell Django how to represents all these objects. So, and to do that, what we need to do is to come to our application here, and we go to the models, and here we are going to tell the Django what to do. So what we can do here is to use this function underscore init, string instead of init. So it's going to be a string function, and I am going to remove this. Actually, this is going to have something like this. I'm going to say return f string. Okay, now see what we need to do. Since we want to use the string function method, so what we need to do is we now return self dot, if we want the full name, then we are going to say self dot full name, and let's allow the server to rerun, and we can now refresh our website, and you can see we are now having the full name of the member as Emmanuel Okoye. So let's add another member to see if this is actually working. If Naya Emeka dance, and we can call this one if Naya at gmail.com. Let's save, and you can see we have Ifnanya Emeka here. So this is what we can do with this. So there are other methods to do that. If you are following up with the W3 school, you're going to see how we can still do that. If you go to the so we can use the admin to also do this by simply, once you import the models, you then create the class for the member, so, and then you register it with the admin.model.admin, and then you now set the list display to whatever you want, and then you register that. So, but I prefer making use of, so this is the in Django method, but my method here is just the normal Python object-oriented programming convention. So it really depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it. All right, so the next thing that we need to do now is we need to know how we are going to pull this data from the back end or from the database to the front end so that other users can see it, not only the admin, but other users can also see it. So it's very important. So in the next video you are going to see now, we are going to be starting from there.